Hey, 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 welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to go deep within my readings, which means I like to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play those karmic themes along with everything else. So you got to keep that in mind. All right. The reason why I like to do these readings are they are healing, they are empowering, and they make sense to why things happen the way that they do. A lot of times when situations play out that hurt us, like if you're connected to a karmic, someone that you really feel a deep connection to, but they betray you. Maybe they cheat, they lie. You want to know why. A lot of times we're like, why? Why did you do that? And person can't even explain to you why they've done what they've done. They just know that that's what they do. And it wasn't just with you, that you just happen to be another person. Like people tend to do what works for them. And people that are not emotionally intelligent, they come from a more survival perspective. Again, the reptilian mind, logic, and linear, which is great for business, but is not so great for relationships. And the problem is that when we have spiritual blocks, we can't help but to come from that analytical mind, that mental mind. So a lot of times people experience karmic mates that feel like soulmates, that feel like twin flame relationships. I should say, well, all soul relationships really are soulmates. All karmic mates are. There is, because karmic mate, soulmate, it just means learn. Anyone could be your soulmate. It's anyone that comes into your life that helps you see a different perception. Well, again, a lot of times the perception that a karmic mate is showing you is one that you don't like, is one that keeps you in a place of fear. Because after you end that relationship, if you don't understand why that happened, why you attracted that person, um why things played out the way that they did, then you're can't help but to go into the next relationship and kind of trying to avoid that previous one. See, healing is all about first having an awareness, second, integrating the spiritual lesson, third, transmuting the spiritual lesson. And even then, you usually still have to go through the experience once or twice. The only difference is there's no emotional charge to it. You don't have anxiety about it. You know how to handle it. So you're not overthinking it. It's almost like when you were learning how to ride a bicycle and the first time you fell off the bicycle and it was a little difficult to find your balance. But then after that, you figured out how to find your balance, it became a breeze. It's like driving a car, same thing. In the beginning, you're overly conscious, you're afraid to really drive with certain people in the car because you know that they're going to judge you. You know that, they're just difficult, because maybe the way that they drive. And after a while, once you've had your license, it's not, you're not afraid. So spiritual blocks create fear, and that fear creates behaviorisms and habits that block you from manifesting. So again, understanding is key, but it's not enough. I always like to put that out there. You are your own healer. I create awareness. I am just a conduit for spirit to speak. So the integration pro will again be understanding, but you have to ground it. You have to, again, create a different reality by taking that negative energy and transmuting it into a better version of yourself, doing something with that energy, grounding the energy. All right. Just always like to put that out there because, like I said, everyone has the power to heal themselves. All right, let's see what that underlining energy is. If you resonate with this video, give me a like. Subscribe to the channel. It's good karma. And if you want to enter into winning a free reading, you can write the word in the video. You must actually write the word of the video in your comment bar. You'll know if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. No, all readings that I give away are done live stream. They are not private reading. It is live stream. And the reason why is because I believe in spiritual law. And that is, again, what's good for me, what's good for you, what's good for the collective. It's what is best for everyone. And that's why. And there's a lot of people that resonate. I just did like a video from my other channel, and there was like 40 people on, and all 40 people were like, we all have the same spiritual block. And they thought that that was like amazing. They said, what are the chances? And I said, well, that's how the universe works. It's always going to bring you to people, situations, and experiences that you need, that will help you, that will help grow you. And so that includes your karmics. Okay, so let's see what the underlining energy is. And that is knowledge and wisdom. So you're in connection with a soulmate. Why I say that is the knowledge that we consider it is wisdom is not learned in a book. It's the higher consciousness, and it's one that comes in as intuition. It's one that's felt. It's an energetic knowing. It's felt as clairsentience, and the knowing, the knowledge, and that wisdom is claircognizance, which is, I don't know how I know, I just know that that person, I'm connected to that person, that they were supposed to be in my life. I feel like that's where you are, Virgo, to be honest with you. You're like, they were supposed to be in my life. I feel like I learned what I needed to learn from them, but I don't really need more of the same of them. And I feel like it's because it's like you saw too much. They not only didn't do anything for you, I feel like you saw too much, but they did make you feel a certain way. And I feel like that feeling is not worthy, disposable. And so again, there still was a sense of waiting for this person to come back and apologize, waiting for this person to change because, again, of this spiritual connection. So let's see why I just channeled that. Sorry, trying to drink more water. I think that that's like all I drank today, and I'm supposed to drink at least 8 glasses because I get kidney stones. Okay, so let's see what your person did or who they are, what are their behaviorisms. Again, this person couldn't deal with anybody that I feel like that questions them, but they don't have a problem confronting you over any little thing. So I feel like this person was very controlling. If they didn't like what was happening, they would just lash out. They're full of anger, they're full of rage, And so every little thing that you tell this person, they take it as an attack. But then they have no problem attacking. They have a real second chakra imbalance. And that's where they're overly sensitive, only about their own needs, though. Again, the confronting. And so they're really imbalanced. Because they're really imbalanced, there's a sense that when you're around them, you become imbalanced because you don't feel safe with them. You don't feel like you can be transparent and that you're emotionally safe. And I feel like this because this person has a lot of resentment, which from being around them, you became angry, like an angry person. You just notice that because they always fall short. They're on a low vibration, and they're on a low vibration because clearly they need a lot of healing. So this triggered you where you're like, okay, we've already gone through this. It's a cycle, and it's because this person can't control their anger. So I feel like first they need to heal. They need to heal from all their past relationships because they feel victimized. And that's why they're angry. They feel as if they put in so much time and effort and they grow the relationship. And there is a part of this person that is very good when they are in a relationship. Problem is that they're a cheater. The problem is that they don't give emotionally. So they think because they can provide a very comfortable lifestyle for you, that would be enough. And so the problem is that emotionally they never really connect to you, and in that they don't treat you well. Emotionally you're not getting anything, and then they act superior, like as if they're doing you a favor by either, or using their money to control you. So if they do something wrong, they'll purposely do something wrong. They'll do what they want to do, meaning that they'll talk to other people, they'll cheat, they'll stay out all night and party all night, they'll lie, they'll gaslight, they'll do whatever. And then what they'll do is they'll buy you something. They'll do something to make you feel like, oh, this person like is really sorry. They really do care about me. But they're just using their money to manipulate you to and the thing is, I feel like that really wasn't able to go down that well with you because you want the emotional connection, and you were like, I feel like this always happens. This continually happens. I'm in a karmic loop with this person where I can keep telling you what to do, and then you don't do it. And now I have anxiety when I need you to show up for me because I know that you're not going to do it. And so I just feel like I'm always wanting more, asking for more, like begging for more, and you have like kind of joy in not giving it. And that's the energy there where it almost feels like you're helpless. And so this person, like I said, they tend to cheat and not just cheat, but never really let go of the previous relationship. And maybe that's who they're always cheating with. There's always like someone on the back burner. And then they also can display love and affection to other people. They just can't do it for you. So emotionally, you're you're like, all I get is the anger, all I get is the rage, all I get is you treating me like I'm disposable, like I'm not important. And what I get to watch is that you have no problem giving it to everybody else. And I feel like it's because if the person has a strong emotional connection, they get in their own way. They're triggered. And it's because relationships don't work out for them. Because they don't want to ever really create that emotional connection, which means they never really give. They never really give of themselves. Relationship is supposed to be rich, rich with emotion, like depth, intimacy. Intimacy is more about trust than it is about sex. You can actually have a relationship with someone that you never have sex with and love that person unconditionally because they're a friend. They show up. This person is not a friend. They focus more on the sex and the intimacy of that kind. They don't want to be vulnerable. So I feel like that would always deplete you, or you would feel as if you were always depleted. And that's also what scares you. There's an intuitive way about you because you're saying you're detached, you're disassociated from the anger that you went through. This, you have it figured out with your person. That's what I feel. Or there's at least a few of you that do. That this person is just, they've gone through experiences where, yes, they overgive and yes, they put in time. But when you don't care about how you make another person feel and you're selfish, well, then a lot of people want revenge because you're playing with their emotions. That's usually what it is. And so I feel like that's happened to this person a lot. So they have become more strategic in when in a relationship in order to control the relationship. So that can't be done if they're all tapped into their feelings. I also feel like this person wasn't allowed to show their feelings growing up. So there's parts of them that doesn't even know what to do with that such deep feeling. It's almost like they get angry. Their default emotion is anger because they're always the victim. So their way is to control you also. And like you said, almost like a narcissistic energy, which is I'm going to do for everyone else, but I'm going to make sure that I don't do anything for you. And I'm also not healed and I'm still really angry over what happened in my past relationship. So I'm going to take it all out on you. That's the energy here. And again, it's like I feel like you've gone through this situation before, and this person has like done, you've been in this karmic situation with this person before, but I also feel like you've gone through a similar situation before, almost like some of you have said, like some of you have said, shared with this person. I've been in this type of a relationship, a narcissistic relationship. I really didn't feel safe. I really didn't, the person didn't emotionally show up for me. This is what's important to me. And this person kind of mirrored the same exact thing as the past relationship. And for some that actually didn't go through that type of connection, they watched someone that was close and they have inherited that trauma. And they said, well, I was always afraid that I would get into a relationship like that. So I tried to protect myself. And of course, one day I manifested it. So it, until we break the karmic cycles will continue to play out as a lot of chaos within the relationship, because this person is led by anger, and we can't stay in a place of anger for long periods of time. It's depleting, it's tiresome. And then we have to get the energy from outside things. And that's going to be through talking to a lot of different people that are going to feed this person's ego. It's going to be from drinking, partying, doing anything that they can do to fill themselves. And really what they're doing is not just filling themselves, but on a symbolic level, but releasing the good hormones, the serotonin, to help them, the dopamine to help this person, because being angry is tiresome, it's draining. We don't feel good. We feel lethargic, moody. And so, of course, this person having so many bad relationships, they're not going to want to jump into another relationship, even though they know that this is a spiritual connection, even though they know you're supposed to be in their life. I already said this about the substances, anything to fulfill this person, anything, because you can't stay in a place of anger for long periods of time. What happens is that you have to detach, you have to disassociate. And how can you do that on your own? You have to do it through suppression. And it's all so that they don't have to feel, so that they can dominate the relationship, which can really only happen if if you were not balanced and if you don't know your worth. So I feel like this person's at a low vibration, and then they tend to connect with people that are on a low vibration. So, that's to hook up with lower hanging fruit people that they don't really have to try to, that they don't have to give anything to. And so they just tend to think that everyone's like that. So I feel like that triggered you, but it triggered you because you had a wound, not really because of how this person is, because this person is that way to everyone. They're not conscious. They didn't put enough time into you to know who you really are. And I feel like you can't judge a book by its cover. So maybe some of you have unconventional jobs, or you live like maybe different culture, and this person just perceived you to be a way that you're not. Confused empathy and sensitivity for weakness instead of strength. People do that all the time, and it's because you're kind, you're nice, you care about other people, you extend yourself. This person doesn't do any of that. We see it. We see it in their personal relationship with you, and that's just the way that they are. It's not because they're just doing it to you. It's worse for you because emotionally you triggered this person. Emotionally, they have feelings they don't want to have feelings for. So they take it a step further. I'm going to pull one more. And you got tired of abuse. Like, I'm tired of you trying to dominate me, control me, and not give me anything, acting like I'm your property, where I'm not your property. And so the irony is, I actually feel like this person has feelings for you. I know that sounds crazy, because you're like, they didn't give me anything, they didn't treat me well, but That's a psychological reversal. That's when the person gets in their own way. Overthink, overdo. So we have to see, again, let's look at their hidden truths, even though, like, we know that you really shouldn't be with this person because they're too angry. And angry people that stay angry, that energy festers and every little thing triggers them. So they like to control, which means you would not be happy, especially since they don't want to give you anything emotionally. I remember every detail of that day. I feel like you guys did have a moment that was special because, like I said, there is this spiritual connection. It's not like there isn't. And I feel like that this person remembers every part of it. And it's not because there was all this wild sex. It wasn't like that. If anything, it was really innocent. I think it might have been a kiss, or it might have been where you held hands, or you did something that was very, I feel like, very innocent, very pure. And this person never really experienced that before. And mainly because of the spiritual connection that the hand held. You got a little butterfly in their stomach. They got a little nervous. This person normally doesn't care. So, of course, they remember every detail of the day because they had that experience. There is a spiritual connection, and you walked away because they're angry and they weren't giving you anything, and you were tired of the abuse. But again, they're very narcissistic. Almost like it doesn't matter what you say. They're like, we will be together again. We'll be together again. We'll sell. When it's over, it's when I say that it's over. But right now, I'm not saying that it's over. So we're going to be together again. I feel like they're very angry of the way that things also transpired, and possibly because they misjudged you. They can't really renege who they already showed you who they are. You know, the cat's out of the bag. If they would have known who you are, if they would have taken the time, they would have created a persona. Wear a mask. This person feels like they're very smart, meaning that they can outwit any person. They actually get a charge out of it. So, thing is, the cat's out of the bag, and now you're on the defensive, where have your boundaries up, and this person knows it. And so they can't just come in the way that they would normally come in, which is breadcrumb, charm, all, trying to sweep you off your feet, hoping that you get all caught up in your emotions. I feel like sometimes this person is delusional, though, because of the spiritual connection that there was. They're almost thinking that they can pick it up whenever the hell that they want to. I wish I could share my good news with you. I feel like this person is moving, moving nearer to you. I feel like they are breaking, for some, breaking away from a karmic and that past lover that this person used to definitely trigger you with. That's a big change. I feel like that relationship has definitely gone to the max. Because I feel like this person has a bad way of bringing out the worst in people, where people then want to dominate them. It's almost like, oh, you wanted to treat me bad, did you? Well, now I'm going to do some pretty bad things to you, where you're going to take a little while to recover, whether that's financially, whether that's losing assets, losing friends, losing your status within the community, all these things. Having your character damaged. That's normally what keeps happening with this person too, which is why they're angry. I regret lying to you. I feel like they regret acting like they didn't care because it's like now it didn't work. You didn't come running. You didn't try and come and fix it. And now that means I have to put work in. And because I have feelings that I don't really like having these feelings. I will wait for a sign from you. That's better. That's better because I don't really want to be rejected here. That's this person. So we see the ego running the show. Again, the anger, strategizing. This person wants like an ace in the hole. Like they want a one and done. They want to do minimal effort. I left when I saw you with someone. I feel as if this person jumps to conclusions. I don't really feel like you were with anyone. I feel as if you are friends. I feel as if this person tends to project a lot of shit. So if you have a friend, like I said, come over, they're going to assume that there's more. They know that they're not treating you well. And they also know that you're deserving of more. So there is a sense of fear and they're angry and they want to control. They want to dominate. So if you have other people, they can't dominate. These narcissists always want to, they always want to control the situation. And I also feel like you left when you saw this person with the karmic. So you've been back and forth with this person a few times. And so, again, this person wasn't in your life close enough to know who that person was. But because they don't treat you well and because they've cheated with their past person or haven't let go of their past person, they project a lot of shit, like I said, on to you. That's how we know that they have shadows. That's how we know that they have wounds. So many things remind me of you because unfortunately, there's still this energy. And I say that because it's like this person has nothing good to offer because of their character. I'm not saying that they don't have feelings, but as I said, there is a lot of regret. They wish they could share their good news with you. You're in separation right now. And instead of really fixing it, they're going to sit there and watch what you're doing through social media, see who you talk to other people that know you, and then leave when they see you with somebody else. And it doesn't really matter who that person is, and then sit there and wait for a sign from you because they're insecure. So they're a little delusional because they still think that you're going to be with them. Mainly, what's holding it because we have this spiritual connection. And understand they do not want to look at reality because they have so much anger and resentment. So it's almost like you're my property and I don't want to give you anything. And let's see what they're going to do. If they're going to do anything, if they're ever going to do anything, ever, 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 ever. And I'm not saying for you to get back together with them, but a lot of times we want to know. Well, they're going to tell you how they feel. They're going to finally speak the truth. They're finally going to communicate. But I feel like they're going to do something small, like social media. and like reach out to you through there's your social media, and it's going to be such a breadcrumb. But that's because this person doesn't want to be turned down. They don't want to be rejected. So I feel as if they were going to wait a certain amount of time and you're not going to do anything. And that's why they, I have to say something. Now, this is huge for this person. So, and I'm still saying that it's not enough, but them even reaching out on social media because this person doesn't do anything, they think, oh my God, this is so much. I'm so embarrassed. What if I get rejected? That's their energy. That's how you know that they're on a low vibe because they're not emotionally intelligent at all. But because it's again, they're afraid. They're afraid of being judged and also that you're going to make a decision. Like you don't want to be with this person. That's what they think. There's a part of them that knows that they deserve it. So it's like but they also don't like staying in this limbo place of, I have feelings for you. I feel like we're going to be together, but also I'm afraid. I don't really feel like we are going to be together because I've done a lot of things. So they're getting really uncomfortable because there's strong feelings. Yeah, they want the freedom and they want the freedom to feel good. They want to they want to see whether or not this relationship can rise above what's happened. They want to see whether this connection is really like, I want to say like sci-fi, and I say sci-fi for them because they've never had a spiritual connection before, almost like it's just really like what it is that everyone has a person. Are you my person? And it's almost like this person sabotages the connection and then is like, now let's see, you're gonna come back, are you gonna display your love for me and prove that you love me so I can know that you're really the one for me, which is again this psychological reversal and getting in their own way from overthinking because of their low self-esteem. And they want freedom from this relationship, meaning they just want to feel good. They don't feel good being stuck in between. They want to elevate themselves, right? They want to find balance within the connection, but the problem is that we already said that they're not balanced. So the relationship will never become balanced because they are not in their heart space. They're in the reptilian mind. And so what will wind up happening is that there's again this desire to know what is going to happen between you and them at this point. They don't like being in this place of it's limbo. And so I feel like this person wants to really this connection is making this person really do self-examination. They want they want something different. So what it's really doing, this relationship is really making this person, I just can say like making them go within, making them observe themselves, you, how people act, has made this person do a lot of self-reflection on where they are, how they got to where they are. It's made them do a lot because even though you're like, I didn't even do anything and they didn't do anything for me, breadcrumb to that it's a lot to this person because they don't give. They're afraid to show their emotions. They're very weak. People that try to manipulate and control, that's what it's all about. It's about domination because I don't feel safe, because I don't want to be abandoned, because I don't believe I'm deserving of love. Said very narcissistic energy, and they don't believe that they're deserving of love because of all their past relationships, that they end the relationship, they get into a new relationship because they're attractive, they have a good job, they make money. So from the outside, they look like a good catch, but you're in a relationship with them and it's all about control. It's all about dominance. And so very narcissistic. So this relationship, there's a lot of subliminal things happening, which is where this knowing and wisdom come from. It can only happen if the person goes within. So it's not just a soul mate, it's a divine connection, but it's a divine connection not for the purpose of getting together. It was so that this person would look at themselves to actually do the self-reflection is what I feel, to actually do some healing, to raise their vibration, so that you actually, once this connection is done, you left this person in a better place than how you met them for the next person. It doesn't mean that they're 100% healed, but a person that doesn't do healing, when they experience the karma, the negative karma, it makes them do the self-reflection because they say, why did that happen? That never happens. Their ego is hurt. And again, that ego is made to cover wounds. That's what happens when we have wounds and we haven't integrated them. We wear masks. We create illusions. So again, it took a lot for this person just to be past stopping creating the illusions is what I'm feeling. So let's see why you attracted this person into your life, because you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. It's almost 3:30 in the morning. I feel like I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm on slow motion now. All right, let's see. Why did you attract wonder? Card number 1, trauma. Card number 2. These are the inner child wounds, again, where our shadows come from primarily, is from our inner child wounds. Yes, we can get wounds from other places, but like I said, the majority of times, the main core wound happened in childhood. Frustration. Organized chaos. So I feel as if you grew up in an environment that there was organized chaos, which means that there was one parent that was able to provide, but they were in connection with someone that was not very loving, not very supportive, and you saw this. And that person wasn't nice to you either. We're not just not nice to, if it was your mother or your father, they were not nice to you either. And that's a narcissistic energy there where everyone feels dominated by the narcissist, almost as if that this person grew up as an extension of someone else, where they never really form their full identity. And I feel as if you also grew up that way. with organized chaos. One parent that's always working and never around, so emotionally you're not getting anything. That is part of it, but also the not feeling safe that comes with living in chaos. So it like goes to like. It doesn't need to be the exact same experience, but the underlining energy is the organized chaos, which is we both didn't grow up in a safe, supportive environment. We were taught not to trust. We were taught not to trust ourselves, and we were taught not to trust other people. So see those wounds, and it happened from trauma, psychological trauma, emotional trauma. We didn't feel safe. Now, from the outside, it might have looked like everything was fine, but the trauma was not seen. So life was really frustrating, where you always saw yourself failing. You didn't believe in yourself. So that happened. That kept you in a low vibration. And I feel like you attracted this person because they made you feel the same exact way. It's abuse. It's a chaos to be connected to this soulmate. Yes, they're a soulmate, but they're a karmic mate. And I feel like to awaken your childhood wounds of trauma so that you can integrate them, and how you would integrate them is through the wonders of you, the wonders of the world. Go out and have a love affair with yourself. You haven't created enough new experiences to really integrate that spiritual lesson, because you still see yourself, or parts of you still see yourself as wounded, as to be able to still attract this energy. It doesn't mean that you haven't done healing. What it means is you haven't transmuted the negative energy. And the transmutation comes in the actual grounding process, where you do something different so you can see yourself different. And Spirit says, start with your passions, start with the things that stir your soul, and then have a wonder for them. In that, you'll find the wonders within you, you'll find the wonders within the world. Remember, there's beautiful places in the world. Really have a love affair with yourself. Find yourself so you know what you want, so that you can see other opportunities. Your imagination helps you manifest. But if you live in the same type of experiences with the same types of people, you'll never evolve. And you definitely want to evolve from this low vibrational energy. Trauma is low vibrational energy. It doesn't mean that you were deserving of it. However, we all are born into karma that we need to integrate, whether that's collectively through what was going on when we were growing up. For instance, the people that were born, I not just born, but going through their adolescence and their young youth years while COVID was going on, what did they experience? Poverty consciousness, not enough. They saw a scarcity when they went into the supermarket. They were shown that they weren't safe. Now, I'm not saying that COVID was not safe. It wasn't safe, but it was what they saw over and over and over and over again, which made many people become very frugal, made people then believe that there wasn't going to be enough to go around. So understand, when you live from that level of consciousness from long periods of time, it creates a neurological pathway within your mind where behaviorisms are just automatic now. And it's easy to live on autopilot. But the problem is that you want to integrate this trauma, because it's if it's not, you'll just create the same types of experiences that you grew up with, even though you've done the shadow work, because the transmutation process hasn't happened yet, which is actually going through the experience and doing something different. So I feel like this experience is to recognize that this person is toxic, that this person would keep you in a place of limitation. I feel as if you have healed a lot by doing the psychological and the emotional shadow work that needed to be done. However, you still are not seeing a different outcome, and that's because you're being called to go out into the world, to go out and find the wonders within the world, the wonders within you, because then you're going to see yourself different. You're going to want different things. You're going to realize you have so much more options than this. That's going to keep you in a place of limitation, sadness, depression, lack, limitation, be very draining, and then dispose of you, because this person's a narcissist. They will take what they need from you, and then when there's nothing left, they will dispose of you. So that's why Spirit's saying, hey, the choice is yours. Are you going to love yourself? If you grew up in abuse, you have to reparent yourself. You grew up in trauma where you didn't feel safe. You have to reparent yourself. You grew up in organized chaos and you want peace. You got to create that. In fact, you have to recondition your nervous system. If you grew up in organized chaos where everything worked, but it was chaotic, so I didn't really feel safe. And I have a lot of trauma around it. Trauma will, if it for long periods of time that you created growing up, well, your nervous system, you have reconditioned. It's not the way that you were born. You're not breathing the way that you were born. Now you're like holding your breath and you're very triggered. And Spirit says, in order to heal this fully, it's not just about doing the yoga, the breath work, and the healing modalities, but it's to live a new experience fully. That's what transmutation is. So you get to see a different outcome, and it's a better outcome. It's one that's empowering, one that says, I don't need to feel bad about myself. I'm successful. But that will require you to choose you and not this person. Even though it's a soulmate, even they're a soulmate. I am the light, Spirit says. And we ask, well, what is the energy that we can pull in, or is there anything else that we should know that will help us in navigating our life to not attract this type of person, and to help us evolve further into the highest seat of consciousness, which is unconditional love, by transmuting this negative energy. And Spirit says, remember, you're the light. Always have hope, no matter the ordeal. Always have faith in a better future. Again, if by being with this person, you don't have faith. You say, well, this is as good as it gets. Spirit says, that's because that's the only thing that you lived. So it's familiar. And familiar for you is not good. I turn darkness into light. That means you're turning your shadows and your wounds into unconditional love. I open my heart to others and to God. and am spiritually strong. I draw light to me and shine with all my being. So people that have a lot of spiritual blocks within their heart, it's because they were taught not to trust. The person that you're dealing with, the soulmate, definitely has a blocked heart chakra. That's why they don't give anything. That's why they breadcrumb. That's why they strategize. That's why they're not emotionally intelligent. You have also been hurt. You're not that way. I feel like you overgive, you overdo, you overlove too fast, too soon. Where Spirit's saying that caused you to have a block in your heart chakra. But only God can change a mind in your heart by bringing you people, situations, and experiences that will create a better future for you. But you need to become the energy of unconditional love, which is by becoming the light. And you do that by, again, your character. And it all starts with loving yourself. It all starts with applying that good character to yourself and knowing that you're deserving of love. And that's really what Spirit says. No matter the ordeal, it doesn't matter. The ordeal is not you. That you are not what someone does to you, and you are not your ordeal. You are the light. And to be able to go with the flow of life, you have to realize that it's all about you always you always win because you either learn or you win, and learning is winning. And so it's all about learning those lessons so you can attract the life and the people that you want to in your life. Live the best life. That's, per se, create your own heaven on earth. All right, guys, I'm going to leave that there. It's almost 4 in the morning and I haven't gotten to sleep yet. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.